20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. Dale Earnhardt will come to the caution flag to win the Daytona 500. Finally, third-generation star Dale Earnhardt Jr. brings him to the flag. Checkered flag waving. It's over. It's Earnhardt.
He's going to do it. He's going to win the race and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. California's Kevin Harvick does it.
You are the 2014 Sprint Cup champion.
The 24-year-old from Dawsonville, Georgia, is about to join his father, Awesome Bill, in elite company. Chase Elliott is a NASCAR Cup Series champion.
Ah! Ring that sign, boys! Yes!
And the 1991 winner of the Daytona 500 is Ernie Irvan, the Morgan McClure Chevrolet.
Morgan McClure Chevrolet honk.
Dude, it's a race to do that every week, and you beat me. I was trying to get Brennan to come in here and do it, but he was being a little bitch. I was like, come on, dude, come in here and honk. That's all you got to do. Honk and leave. And he's like, nope.
Would Ryan have done it, or did he tell you to get the fuck out of his room?
I didn't even ask him.
Dude, comments are popping off already.
Oh, I know. I've been reading them.
Cooper, what sounds better, doing meth with a local street raccoon or watching Larson go from last to first today? Tristan goes, both. I'm not showing that one, Cooper. This what I love. Intro music low key sounds like an 80s porno shown for free at Motel 6 and free HBO. Those are the best. What's going on, Patrick?
Patrick, welcome.
Thanks for coming out. Tristan, Cooper, you guys are terrible. What's going on,
we can't
Phil?
have nice things, bro, right here.
Episode 28, we're here. Haven't been banned yet.
Haven't been banned yet. We've come close a couple times, but here we are. Oh. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear. So what's good? What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Another week. Watched a little racing all week. I watched a little bit of that late model stock stuff from North Wilkesboro, a little bit of the pro late.
Oh, hey, Cooper. Cheers. Right to you, buddy. You haven't found the apples yet, have you?
I haven't looked.
You haven't looked? I think Bubba does get in tonight. One way or another, I think Bubba gets in.
So how's that work, like, with the fan vote? Do they know before?
They'd have to, right? Doesn't fan vote, like, the voting for it closes at a certain time? Like, it was before today, I thought.
But, like, they still have to run the open is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, they still have to run the open.
And then they find out the fan vote after.
I mean,
as long as it's not one of the top two.
All-Star fan voting results. Let's just see what we got. All-Star fan vote. Who's in the lead of this thing? Voting is closed on the website.
Carson Hocevar.
The Dente?
I would think, like, if I was Hocevar, I'd be talking to Cletus and having Cletus's buddies all ramp up his votes, and there'd be nobody competing.
As of Monday, the top 5 vote getters were Shane Van Gisbergen, Noah Gregson, Carson Hocevar, Ryan Preece, Bubba Wallace. Truthfully, I think the fan vote probably goes to Gregson. That's what I think. I mean, he's gotten it the last 2 years. Fan vote closed last night. Cooper says yes, Phil. What's going on, Ryan?
Hello, Ryan.
So, I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be Gregson. I think Bubba races his way in. I forgot how the freaking showdown worked. Don't they take like 3 or 4 from the showdown?
2.
They take 2. So here's what I think.
So field is 23. So it's the top 2 finishers and then the fan vote.
I think you're going to get Bubba, Gregson, Hocevar in the show.
I'm gonna go 2 out of 3 on that, and I think you're gonna get Bubba and Hocevar, and I think you're gonna get Ryan Preece.
Ryan Preece.
I think he's gonna race his way in, and he's a short track guy. I mean, that's where he's had his best luck so far, is on the short tracks and stuff. So
I'm looking at the open starting lineup now. I don't know, man. Ty Gibbs in this. Ty Gibbs can win his way in.
Ty Gibbs can also fuck up a wet dream, bro.
Not wrong.
Come on, the year he's had.
Oh, I did not know the WNBA All-Star event was on Hocevar's car.
I didn't see the cars, too. I know it was orange. It's like orange and yellow or something, isn't it?
Great question. I'm looking it up now. I have no idea.
I've got the paint schemes.
Yeah, it's orange and blue and all that fun stuff. It's not a bad looking car.
It's all right. It's all right. So who's going to have some bad luck tonight?
Like, I think you're crazy, Cooper. Ty Gibbs and Ty Dillon winning. That's like plus 20,000 odds. Who do I think's winning the event tonight?
No, who do you think's going to struggle?
Oh, who do I think's going to struggle? In the Open or the All-Star race?
Yes.
I think Hamlin's going to struggle. Seemed like yesterday during the heat races they couldn't get a handle on that car.
No, he looked pretty rough.
Yeah, I think he might struggle. I mean, Bowman had a tire go down, but I think Bowman might struggle. In the Open, it's tough because it's a lot of guys who struggle weekly.
I think that's going to be a better race than the actual All-Star race.
It probably will be. And they didn't allow these teams to actually mess with anything performance-wise in these cars, right? Like they didn't mess with any ride heights or anything. It's no crazy tire being ran. It's right in front of you guys, man. It's right in front of you. I'm still of the belief that this race should be at Charlotte. Especially with this car, because I think this car puts on a great race at the Oval at Charlotte.
Dude, that's the only place it should be.
But, you know,
I
digress.
Boomer. Call me Boomer all you want. That's where it should be.
Ty has the Austin Dillon effect. Hamlin ran like shit in his heat. Yeah, he did. Hamlin did not look good yesterday.
No.
You can get the fuck out of here, Ryan.
Hey, Harrison Burton was passing.
Hey,
people.
props to Harrison Burton. Yes,
it might have been Denny Hamlin, but damn it, he passed a couple people.
I think if anything, too, yesterday showed you that new tires are no advantage.
I really liked how they did that. That you had, the choice of whichever one you wanted at your disposal. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know, man. It seemed like new tires, like sticker tires, were an advantage for like the first 4 laps, and then it just equaled out.
Yep.
It didn't really come into effect. And another thing I've noticed is a lot of people were getting held up by slower cars. Like there's just no way around it, because you could try the top side. That might not work all the time. The guys running the bottom, it's hard to get them loose up off that apron or off that line at the bottom to get them up the track. It's a tough track.
But the strategy part of it was cool, because this is when they can experiment and do stuff like that. Look at what Briscoe did last night. Take no tires.
Briscoe, it was great till it wasn't.
Well, he got his tires. I mean, in one way or another, he got his tires. But like I like that aspect of it. It's not just follow the leader. Everybody has their different strategy of how they're doing it. You know, it made it interesting. It gave them more to talk about on the broadcast too.
I think with tonight being a longer race, it might actually turn out a little bit better racing wise, because you can actually let that full strategy play out. It's not just going to be a quick 75 lap sprint. You know, it's going to be a full length race. So I think you'll see a little bit more tires being an advantage potentially tonight.
I think we'll see. I think we'll see a lot more fall off.
Yeah, that's the other thing about it.
Plus, you've also got the modifieds racing today that may take up some of that rubber that's down, because they're not on the same. They're not on Goodyears. They're on Hoosiers, I believe.
That's true. The modified races today at 2.
So, yeah, I got my Kyle Bond Senior shirt on for today. Little modifieds.
A little modified action today.
But I mean, that could play a little aspect in it, because the track might be different once they roll off tonight because of that.
You know, NASCAR's website truly is a pain in the ass for finding times for races.
That's why I use JSki, bro. JSki.com for everything.
Well, it was already on the website, so I was just looking at it. I mean, I've got both tabs open. Oh, you know what we haven't done yet, Phil?
What do we got?
We got episode 28, car 28 history. As of the writing of this article, NASCAR Cup Series competition, the 28 car has started 1,032 races with 61 drivers and has 76 wins, 94 poles, 299 top 5s, 437 top 10s, and 284 DNFs. Number 28 card was fielded consistently by the same team from 79 to 2002, the first of those drivers being Buddy Baker, who drove for Rayner Lundy from 79 to 80 and again in 82, with Waddell Wilson as the crew chief. In 60 starts in the 28, Buddy Baker had 5 wins, including the 1980 Daytona 500, the fastest Daytona 500 ever run.
Gray Ghost.
In 81, Bobby Allison drove the 28 to 5 wins and 31 starts, including the World 600. Cale Yarborough took over the Rayner Lundy 28 in 83 with Hardee's as the sponsor. Yarborough won 9 races in the car, including the last win of his career in 85. In 86, Yarborough took the Hardee's sponsorship to found his own team with the number 29.
Good number.
A favorite of both of ours, Phil. Davey Allison is the son of Bobby, former driver of the 28. Proved his worth immediately by qualifying on the pole of the Daytona 500 as a rookie. This feat had never been accomplished before. In 1988, the Rayner Lundy team was sold to the longtime engine builder and crew chief in the shop, and the company was renamed to Robert Yates Racing. The young superstar Allison would win 19 events in just 6 seasons and finished a best of 3rd in the standings. He pushed his father to the win in the 1988 Daytona 500, earned his own 1992 Daytona 500 win, and headed into 93 as a championship threat. Of course, we know what happened in 93. We lost Davey Allison. Moving on. Robbie Gordon immediately took over the 28 car following Allison's death. And then Lake Speed finished out the season in it. Phil's all-time favorite, Ernie Irvan, took over the 28 following 1993. He won. He did not win a Daytona 500 in that car. I was about to say he won the Daytona 500.
No, Morgan McClure
Chevrolet. After an accident in 95, while Ernie Irvan was recovering, Dale Jarrett was hired to take over the 28. He earned 1 win that year at Pocono. Kenny Irwin Jr. took over the 28 car in 1998. Famously, Tony Stewart throwing, what was it, his helmet or something at the car?
I think it was his Hans.
He was
I
wearing a
can't
Hans
remember.
back then?
I don't.
They
I
have a
don't know.
video of it.
Maybe it was his helmet. I can't remember.
Kenny Irwin would end up being killed in a crash at New Hampshire International Speedway after his throttle stuck during a practice session. Ricky Rudd then took over the 28 car. He drove in it for 3 seasons from 2000 to 2002. Won his first race for the team in 2001 at Pocono. Something about Robert Yates racing in Pocono.
I was just thinking something about Robert Yates and tragedy.
Yeah, that kind of goes hand in hand on that one, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, you think Kenny Irwin, Davey, Ernie. I mean, Ernie survived his, but I mean, still a rough one. I mean, there's a lot into that there. That's deep. My bad.
So, following the 2003 departure of Ricky Rudd, Elliott Sadler would take over the 28, and it would be renumbered to 38. Elliott Sadler, Emporia, Virginia. Robert Yates Racing brought back the 28 car in 2008 with Travis Quapple behind the wheel. What do you got to say about Quapple, Phil?
Non-driving fucking. His kids? Lots of talent. Yeah.
Yeah. Fred Lorenzen drove the 28 for 125 of his 158 career starts and scored 25 of his 226 career wins in the number. Eddie Skinner.
That would actually be another tragedy because didn't he crash in the 28 and pass away as well?
I think he might have actually.
I mean, I'm just saying.
The 28 is not a good number.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Eddie Skinner, Mike's father. I'm just assuming. I don't know that to be actually true. Drove the 28 68 times from 63 to 68. From 68 to 71, Earl Brooks started in the 28 and 24 races. Buddy Helms raced this car in the first sanctioned race in 1949 and was obviously the first to race the 28. Helms made a total of 4 starts in the 28. Robert Yates, car owner of the 28, was inducted in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Notable names to start in the 28, Phil, are Benny Parsons, AJ Foyt, Charlie Glotzback, Bobby Isaac, Lake Speed, which we mentioned earlier, Chad Little, Junior Johnson, and Dan Gurney.
Fred Lorenzen did not pass away in a wreck. Fred Lorenzen died in 2024 at the age of 89 due to complications of dementia.
I would say he was not in the 28 in 2024.
No.
Phil, next week we got episode 29, which means car 29, which is a favorite driver of yours.
Phil Ellis?
Well, your third favorite driver. And we have a return of some special names.
Lots of dicks.
Lots of dicks. Dicks are back next week. And a dink. There's a dink in there, too.
Oh, there's a dink?
A dink and a dick next week.
You see the comments over there?
Yeah, let me pull these up real quick. Patrick, I'm going to get to yours in a minute because we're going to talk about that, too, because we watched that. Nice prime hat. Thank you, Ryan. Davey was his favorite in the 28 at Michigan, the Irving crash. Heard that guy Phil eats hot dogs in one bite. Is that true, Phil?
I mean, I probably could.
Probably could.
Probably could. Big wiener guy over here.
Big dick guy. Or big
I didn't say.
guy.
Oh, easy. Easy.
Patrick brought up, what did y'all think of the Cars Tour? If you saw it, I thought it was great. I was both Thursday and Friday was very entertained by the Cars Tour races.
Dude, my mic is like freaking out over here.
No, you're good.
I saw the end of both of them. The pro late race, what I saw was good, and even
shout out Keelan Harvick one time,
dude. And then you got Harvick's driver that wins the next night, Landon Lewis.
Keelan is what? What did we say he was? 12 years old?
I think that's what we said.
And this guy is running like a freaking 20-year vet. It's wild. It's wild, man.
It's that whole crew though, like that whole group that Harvick has in his late model stock program and his late model stuff. Like they're all just drivers, like pure talent.
Yeah.
Except for William Sawalich, I can't really say much about him. He came out of there. He was good in late models, but man, does he look terrible.
Well, listen, I don't want to point anything out, but I'm just saying it hasn't been that great yet. Patrick says you're the Glizzy Goblin.
Hey,
He's gobbling the glizzies. That's what he's doing.
Gobble. I got something you can gobble.
Find out next week when we talk about Car 29. I'm excited for Dick and Dink next week.
Oh man.
Clip that one time. So Phil, last week we had Kansas. And I guess before we talk about the cup race, we'd have to talk about the truck race, which was on Saturday night. Hocevar, shout out Hocevar, wheeling MFer. Got ran into by Layne Riggs on the final lap. Saves it. They both really saved it.
They both wheeled the hell out of that to continue.
Hocevar comes out with the win. Layne Riggs finishes second. However, I thought the most badass photo, video, whatever you want to call it, of the weekend is coming to the last like 200-300 feet of the finish line. Hocevar with a middle finger out the window to Layne Riggs is one of the most badass things I think I've ever seen. Did it not remind you a little bit of the Earnhardt Jeremy Mayfield deal?
No, you know what it reminded me of? Norm Benning.
Norm Benning too, another good one. He was like 20 laps down yesterday before too long.
Before he was 20 laps down before I got to you for lunch.
Sorry, funerals make me weird. Well, again, sorry for your loss, Patrick. I also think the All-Star race should be at Charlotte, but that's the old school fan tradition. Yeah, I think we're all kind of in that department. What I wanted to ask Phil, fair or foul by Carson Hocevar?
Fair.
I'd agree. I'd say it's fair.
A lot of people say foul though. Like Kyle Busch was on Denny's podcast and he asked him that, and Kyle Busch was like, "No, that's like one of the most disrespectful things you can do."
Man, listen, I've got no problem with it. Guy goes in trying to junk you for a win. You end up saving it and still beat him to the line to win the race.
Here's what I got to say about it though.
All fair.
And we'll get to it later about yesterday's truck race again, but Layne Riggs has done nothing wrong in either one of those cases, I don't think. It was a little more extreme, the first one.
You didn't do anything wrong yesterday.
But sending it in there and trying to do what you got to do, that's what he's paid to do. He's there to try to win. I mean, don't get me wrong, same thing as yesterday. Just like I said yesterday, Corey Heim was pissed at him. I'd be pissed too, but at the same time, you're both there to do the same thing. You're there to win. You're not there to make friends. You're not there to like sit behind the guy and not make an effort. You're there to, if you're in range, you got to try.
I guess where I have a problem with it is trying to use Hocevar basically as his brake going into the turn. You know, he knew what he was doing in that situation. Like, hey, I'm gonna smack this guy out of the way, and I'm gonna go right around him for the win. He's racing in a different series. This isn't his series. He's not racing for a championship. I'm gonna yank him right out of the way, and it didn't work. When it doesn't work, the guy in front of you has every right to do whatever he wants to you coming to the line. Whether he wants to flip you the bird, hang his ass out the window, he can do whatever he wants. That's what happens in racing. I mean, when there's a trophy on the line to win, everybody's going for it.
Right. Just like yesterday, everybody, you know, I saw all this stuff on Twitter and Facebook and stuff. Everybody was like, oh, you know, what'd he do that for? He didn't wreck him. Heim was already sideways on the top. He drove in there. Yeah, he drove in a little hard.
He overdrove it a little bit.
But like bump. I mean, that's all they did. It wasn't like he drove up the track and straight
Yeah, it's
door.
not like he hung a right while he was in the
No.
corner to wreck him. He
No.
drove in deep, knew the exact point where he wanted to wash up, and now we're going to just combine races, but he's going to wash up into an exact point in his head where he's like, okay, if I gas it up here, I'll be able to control it right to here, which still gives him a lane. It's up to Heim to either lift, stay there, or go for it. I mean, it's one of the three. Kyle Larson has made it an absolute career when he wins these cup races of putting you in a really bad spot that either you're going to have to lift or you're going to wreck. One of the two are going to happen. And it's not dirty. It's not a dirty way to race. It's racing smart. It's racing defensive. Like you have to do these kinds of things.
In my opinion, that's a short track mentality.
Absolutely. And here's the problem I have, Phil, is half the people complaining about it. We're local short track guys here.
100%.
And it's like, that's exactly how you guys race.
If I get a nose there, I'm there. That's the mentality. You have spotters, that's the thing. You have spotters in short track racing to tell you. You have spotters in NASCAR to tell you. But if you're clear, you're clear.
Right. He didn't.
But if you're not clear, you're not clear. Right. He
didn't wreck him.
He knew, like the spotter had to tell him, hey, he's driving in really deep on the bottom. Just be aware. At the same time, Heim's chasing his ass. I mean,
at the same time, Riggs is going, I'm gonna put him up in the marbles, and it's his choice from here.
Fair game.
And if I'm Heim in the same situation, knowing this guy's going to do this, I'm just going to hold my line. I'll let him run right up into me. He'll take out both of us. If I ain't winning, he ain't winning either.
And instead, America's best dad wins.
Yeah, instead, Reese Bobby won the race. Chandler
Dad of the year.
I said it last night in our group text, but I don't care if that's a bullshit story or not. I'm using that as a punchline of a joke. The guy who hates his kids won.
you go dig a hole and I'm gonna get me another beer.
But Chandler Smith had a great call there. He pit for tires when nobody else did. Yep. Drove his way right back up. Hell of a move there with, what was it, 2 to go? To bounce right in between Riggs and Heim, to get around. Like that was smart racing. That race put on a really good show for me. I mean, you and I were together and I said, like, I watched most of it while we were sitting there BSing. And I mean, the battles, even on the restarts, they're like 4 wide going in the corners, beating and banging, and everybody just drove out of it. Well, most of the time, everybody drove out of it. Other times it was just big jump. Who was the guy in the, what was it, the 29 or whatever? They kept wrecking. He caused like 2-3 cautions.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember who that was.
Oh, I got to look it up now because that's going to bother me.
Race results. 22?
Maybe it was a 22. If you said the name, I'd know it.
Tyler Tomasi?
That was Tyler Tomasi. Where is race results? There we go. Tyler Tomasi.
I mean, granted, on a short track, you had 17 cars on the lead lap. Back to 23rd was 1 lap down.
Chandler Smith started from dead last too, by the way.
Yeah, nobody went like out. Everybody's running at the finish other than the guys you'd expect to be out. Tyler Tomasi, Ryan Roulette, Derek White, and Norm Benning. Norm Benning ran 62 laps, and I think he was like 70 laps down when he parked.
I think what we saw yesterday too that was pretty interesting is when you have a guy like Kyle Busch in the field, you'd really expect him to be battling up front, making his way there. He's got a lot more experience than the rest of these guys. I think the competition level, at least in the top half of the truck series, has gotten so much better this year. Kyle was losing spots and almost immediately was just losing spots. And that's attributed to the car maybe not being set up right. I know I don't think they had practice or qualifying.
No, they got rained out.
So there was no way to actually make any adjustments.
Almost spilled my drink. Damn.
You're good. I don't think there was any time to actually make any adjustments to the car and change setups a little bit. So he was already at a disadvantage in that regards, but he's at the same disadvantage as everybody else.
But I think, like you said, I think the competition level in the truck series is just that good right now.
At least in the top half of the field, like that top 15, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even go top 20. Because you got like laps down yesterday. You got Crafton was a lap down. Ben Rhodes was a lap down. I mean, some of the faster trucks. Brent Cruz was a lap down. He was up in the top 5 until he got wrecked.
I got to give props to Majeski. Had that pit road issue and then ended up finishing 6th. He had a pit penalty, finished 6th.
While we're on the subject of pit road, how about how close Christopher Bell got to running this guy over last night?
Yeah, that was a time, huh?
Oh, dude.
Luke Baldwin finishing 13th is impressive.
Yeah, we said it in our group chat. That kid, I want to see him keep running because he's impressing me everywhere he goes. I mean, he can run that 1.5 miles and be good. He's decent here. I mean, granted, he's in really good equipment with ThorSport, but would you expect him to outrun Matt Crafton, his teammate? But,
Yeah, I think he's just got such raw driving talent that he's going to be well off. He just needs to find the rides, get the full-time schedule under his belt. If I'm Tommy, I don't put him anywhere near ARCA.
Or Rick Ware Racing.
But, yeah.
Sorry, Tommy.
Sorry, Tommy. Friend of the show, right?
Yeah, Tommy's a good guy.
Kansas Cup race. It wasn't a bad race. It wasn't a great race.
It was a Kansas race, in all honesty.
It was an old Kansas race.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Gen 6 style Kansas, like early half Gen 6 style Kansas, where it was just kind of there. It's just another race on the schedule. It didn't overly impress me. It didn't overly disappoint me either. I just thought it was just kind of a meh race. Larson absolutely dominated. At only one other point did you think that Larson might not win it, and that's when Chase Elliott took the lead. Then proceeded to step on it on pit road, or his right rear tire changer and his jackman decided to step on it. Lost them a whole ton of positions. During that same sequence was when Brad Keselowski was catching the 9 when he was in the lead. Brad stuffed himself in the fence on that one. I mean, I guess he didn't really stuff himself in the fence, but you get what I'm trying to say.
You know what really surprises me that I did not know? He had not led a lap in the Cup Series this year until last night.
And I guess that technically doesn't count either, does it? Because it's not points paying.
Nope. But that was his first lap sled all year. And it's hard to believe because, I mean, they've had really good runs.
They have had, has he finished top 5 yet this season?
No,
I don't even think he's got a top 10 yet this season.
No, the team in general has had good runs. Not necessarily Brad.
Roush has been good this year. Brad has not. I'm looking at the point standings now because I want to see. That doesn't really help me any. I mean, Brad is 33rd in points. Guys ahead of him: Riley Herbst, Noah Gragson, Ty Dillon, Eric Jones, Justin Haley, Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger. Currently, the only full-time points competitors that are behind him are Cole Custer, SVG, and Cody Ware.
Trying to find where I saw that last night.
I mean, realistically, if you want to go further with that, besides Chris Buescher, and we'll get into that later. Before the points penalty this week, Todd Gilliland is in front of him. Zane Smith's in front of him. Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell are also in front of him. Guys that realistically, with the exception of probably Ty Gibbs, that Brad should be in front of.
And also, so looking at this lap leader thing, I found it. So there's been 33 lap leaders this season in the Cup Series. Cody Ware has led 1 lap. BJ McLeod has led a lap. Eric Jones. JJ Yaley has led 2 laps. John Hunter Nemechek. Gregson, Custer, Buescher, Allmendinger. They're all 2 laps led and lower. And then you got like Zane Smith, Ty Dillon, Corey LaJoy. I mean, the names that have led a lap that Brad Keselowski has not. Alfredo. Hocevar.
Yeah, isn't that something?
But I want to talk about this while I'm on this subject. Do you know, and it's not surprising because it's Kyle Larson, but do you know he has more than twice laps led this year than anybody else?
I did know that. It's still just impressive, though.
He's at 817. Next behind him is Byron at 386. So that was stuff I was wondering last night, doing a little research, talking about laps led when we were watching the heat race. And I was like, man, I don't think Brad's led a lap this year.
Here's a random question. So because we've already talked about the Kansas deal, which I guess we can mention also that following that issue on pit road, the 9 team has changed rear tire changers. The current one went over to Justin Haley. The 9 team takes over Justin Haley's rear tire changer, which I believe at this point, isn't that Kyle Larson's pit crew?
Mm-hmm.
Because didn't they just swap like 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So, hey, I mean, maybe it's something. Who knows? Do you go into these non-points paying races just with like a different feel? And just as a fan and as a viewer, to where like, yeah, it's cars on track, but I'm just looking for good racing at this point. It's not even, I don't stress about it, I guess would be the way to put it.
It's one of those things for me that, being that it's the all-star race, there should be more to it. Like, racing wise, like they should do something to make the racing better. I don't know what.
I like the whole idea of throwing the rule book out the window, but that was nixed.
But like, this race has to be bigger than the rest of them. It has to be different. It can't just be a normal race weekend. And that's kind of how it is, other than its gimmick WWE shit with its promoter caution now.
Yeah, I hate that we've started rotating tracks that were concrete spots on the schedule. And I'm not saying that the Clash hasn't put on good races since it left Daytona. And I'm honestly not saying that the All-Star race hasn't put on some good races when they left Charlotte. The Bristol one was fine.
Mm-hmm.
The first Texas one wasn't too bad. But I look at the Clash and I think Daytona, pole winners, past Clash winners, and Cup champions. I look at the All-Star race. I think Charlotte. I think the Pit Crew Challenge, the Burnout competition, the teams on the intro stage coming out with their pit crews and stuff. Like, that's just what I envision. It's what made it so fun. And I feel like...
But that's the problem, is they overdid it. Now they try to do that at every single place you go. It's overdone. It's not something out of the ordinary. It's the same shit over and over again. I want to see something different.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? Like everything they're doing is, it used to be a big deal because they did it once a year, or twice a year, now but everybody's involved. You gotta make it the rules broader to who gets in and who doesn't. And like, I get the open is a different deal, but maybe I don't know.
The All-Star race was fun in more recent memory. We'll take away all the next gen years out of it. It got fun, really fun there at the end, because there was different rules packages for it, stuff that we didn't run at all during the season. And you got to kind of see what everyone was thinking of what racing was going to look like here in the next year, 2 years. And they just don't do that. I don't understand what the thought process in between the powers that be that say, hey, everything's perfect the way it is. Let's not even try anything for this. That's what I struggle with. And that's why I think they move it around to different tracks, which is, I guess, cool and all. But if we're not trying something that maybe will better the product, we're just doing it wrong. And another problem that I have, and this is kind of like a minor thing, but you've taken away one Charlotte Oval date by having the Roval there. So you still go to Charlotte twice, but they're two different track configurations. That Coke 600 in this next-gen car has put on some great races.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where everybody's clamoring to have a second Oval race back. Take out the Roval, bring the Oval back. And why not have both and just move the All-Star race back to Charlotte? You're already in Wilkes County. You're back in the same state. Why not just move that back to Charlotte? And what I really fear is going to happen is this is all leading to North Wilkesboro being put on the schedule as a points-paying event. And as cool as it is to see that track back from the ruins that it was once in,
we need better racing.
I don't think, and don't get me wrong, the truck race wasn't awful yesterday, but I just think the NASCAR series themselves are not great for North Wilkesboro in its current form. People tend to forget that the Cup racing got pretty bad at North Wilkesboro before they closed it. Attendance was down. People weren't showing up because it wasn't the best racing anymore.
And in all honesty, it wasn't, and still is, really not a very nice facility.
No, but I mean, I enjoy the fact that they kind of try to keep it as original as they can to what it was. I think that's a cool thing.
Same, but I mean, it's not. Nice. But it's not appealing. It's not one of those nice tracks that you're like, man, that we've said it about Phoenix. Phoenix just looks like a badass place to watch a racetrack or a race. North Wilkesboro doesn't give me that appeal. I mean, I've driven by it and it was shut down at that point, but like it's in the middle of nowhere. It's not in a place where you'd expect a bunch of people to gather. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
I think North Wilkesboro is perfect for late model stocks, modifieds. Like, I think that's a great place for those series.
I think the trucks and ARCA probably that would be my cutoff. Trucks, maybe. But you've got to do the trucks.
I think if the current asphalt that's on there, once that wears a little bit, I think we can revisit that conversation. But right now, because they put down so much torque and have so much grip, it's tough. The thing with all these other short track series is they're on the edge of out of control all the time. It doesn't matter if they're on brand new asphalt or if they're on 80-year-old asphalt. It's a constant battle for grip. It's not the same anymore with our current top 3 series.
I'll agree.
Eating some good food over there?
Eating a bagel.
Eating a bagel? I had a steak, egg, and cheese bagel from McDonald's this morning. Let's get into the Chris Buescher stuff.
Oh.
So the Buescher car was taken to R&D following the Kansas race, and everybody kind of started speculating like, probably going to see some penalties out of that. And it was almost immediately like people were already speculating like, oh, they must have found something. This is going to be a big penalty. It's not abnormal for cars to be taken R&D at random, but it was almost immediately when that car was taken, everyone's like, there's probably a penalty there. So I'm just going to read the article straight from J-Ski here. Chris Buescher's team has been penalized following the NASCAR race weekend at Kansas Speedway. The team was given an L1 penalty for a violation on the front bumper cover. Sections 14.1.c, overall assembled vehicle rules. Quote, vehicles must comply with Section 14 vehicle and driver safety specifications of the NASCAR rulebook at all times during an event. Failure to comply will subject to penalty pursuant to Section 10 violations and disciplinary action. 14.5.4.g, front bumper cover. The front fascia must be strengthened on the inner surface with bonded on non-metallic materials in the area contacting the bumper foam and up to 2 inches further in all directions. The team has been fined $75,000 and assessed with the loss of 60 owner points, 60 driver points, and 5 NASCAR playoff driver and owner points. Crew Chief Scott Graves has been suspended from the next 2 NASCAR Cup Series events through Charlotte Motor Speedway. And NASCAR Cup Series Managing Director Brad Moran joined the Holler Talk podcast to explain why Chris Buescher's team was given an L1 penalty after finishing 8th at Kansas Speedway. The rule violations were found when Buescher's number 17 Ford was inspected at the NASCAR R&D Center this week. Moran said the maximum 2 inches of reinforcement behind the front bumper foam had been exceeded. Unfortunately, the number 17 did not meet the rule and had a larger area than what was permitted to be bonded into the nose piece. Moran said they can work in that area, but they went too far, would be the simplest terms of putting it. That's a heavy penalty for that team. It puts Buescher kind of in the same situation he was, I believe it wasn't last year, it was the year before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where didn't they have a penalty then too, and he needed to have a win to get in?
Yep.
He's kind of back in that same scenario now. We are currently through the first quarter of the season. So now we have about 10-ish races until the playoffs start. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to count it down. So
we are on race 12 of 26. Like this week would be week 13, but that doesn't count for points.
Yeah, so we are 14 races from the cutoff. Holy crap, I don't know why I just realized that Daytona's now the cutoff again for the playoffs. It just resonated with me that is what's happening.
And he is sitting 19th.
Yeah, he's in that area where unless he's finishing top 3 every week, he's going to need to win.
The other one right there with him that's been running really good, Hocevar. I mean, Hocevar's 20th.
Brother, man, I think Hocevar's getting a win at some point this season.
I'll agree. He's been looking really stout on these 1.5 miles.
It's not going to come down to a speed thing, I don't think. I think it's going to come down to almost like a fuel mileage or strategy type thing that's just going to kind of fall into his lap or at a super speedway. Just the way Hocevar's been running and progressing as the season's gone on has been really impressive. A little bit of a fantasy breakdown following Kansas. Ryan Schreck takes the top spot from Vince, Kyle Larson's iRacing account. Second, Amanda Love third, One Blue West in fourth, King J Hip Racing fifth, NASCAR's Consistency, that's me, sixth, Jackhammer JT seventh, Ruggs Motorsports eighth, Juniors Wild Bandits ninth, Cole the Bold 24 10th, Door Bumper Not Clear 11th, Dale's Mustache 12th, Priscilla 13th, tied for 13th, Casual Chaos, Phil dropping to 15th, Mr. Excitement.
Penalties are getting me, bud.
16th is Victor, 17th is T. Cawthorn 88, and 18th is Josh's Berries. Penalties are getting you, huh?
Oh yeah, penalties got me because I had Logano and Priest that 1 week when they both got penalized.
Yeah, I did too.
This week I just didn't have good finishes.
So now we can go over the picks. So last week I took Tyler Reddick. You took Cole Custer. Boy, was that a bad move on your part because I think Custer was lapped by like lap 4.
Shut your face.
So I win last week. The way we're doing all-star picks is a little bit different. What I am going to do is we won't do anything for like the showdown and the fan vote. That's just kind of like, hey, bragging rights deal, I guess. However, if one of us actually picks the driver that wins the all-star race, we will get a point. If we don't, then hey, we just pick someone to win. Doesn't count for anything. Like that? It's almost like a bonus week. So what I need to check is for sure what the transfer is for the showdown.
2.
That is for sure, right? It is 2 from the
Yeah.
showdown? Okay. From the showdown, well, I guess I'll just give you 3 drivers that I think are going to advance because it's tough to pick the showdown winners in the fan vote. But I'm going to go Hocevar, Gregson, Wallace, what I said earlier. Those are my 3 that transfer.
And I'll go Hocevar, Wallace on the fan vote. And who did I say before?
You said Hocevar
Priest.
and Wallace.
Priest. So Hocevar and Priest race their way in. Bubba gets the fan vote.
For the all-star race itself. Go with your pick first.
Hard not to bet against Larson.
He is starting last.
Hard not to bet against Larson.
I've got a funny one that I want to do here. And it's strictly because it'll just make me even more miserable, to be honest with you. Give me Chase Elliott winning the All-Star race.
All right.
Because we'll win every non-point paying fucking race, but when it comes to the ones that actually pay out...
We talked about that yesterday at lunch.
That's how I'm setting that one up as. Because we'll win every race. It doesn't matter for nothing. Patrick's going C-Bell. I don't hate that pick. I thought he looked really good yesterday. Besides the fact he almost ran over his crew member.
Hey.
Hey, shit happens.
almost don't count. The best part was that dude's like, they're like, his wife's having a baby, and they're like, yeah, he's on baby watch right now. It's like, oh, dude, she's gonna murder him. Something we didn't go over before. Big junk.
Oh, we did not go over big junk. I think this is the reason why I didn't talk about it during the Kansas review. I would find it hard to not give big junk to AJ Allmendinger.
For the motor blowing or for the radio?
Yes. Because that was a big junk, or a big blow up, then a big crash out. So that equates to a big junk award.
Huge junk.
To me. And then the comments with Richard Childress yesterday too were kind of telling, huh?
Yeah.
Saying that everybody has motor issues at some point or another, and it's people need to just kind of settle down on their radio outbursts.
But he never holds back. Like, that's what I like about him. He tells it like it is.
Who, Allmendinger or RC?
Allmendinger. No, I'm just kidding. RC's like, he doesn't really, like, he tells it like it is, like how it should be as an owner. Like, I think he's probably one of the best examples of somebody who stands up for what they believe in. And damn right, I guarantee there was a pretty big meeting about that this week.
I would imagine so. I
like Dinger. Like I think Dinger's a great driver in the Xfinity series. But just you can't. We had this conversation about Tyler Ankrum yesterday. Same thing, bro.
Phil, I'm going to find it hard. I posted this on Facebook or Twitter last night. Our big junk for next week might not go to anybody from NASCAR.
No.
I'm going to pull this up here. If you guys didn't see this.
One thing we didn't talk about either was Denny's explosion.
Well, Denny didn't really have an explosion, right? Didn't his shifter break, or the car wouldn't go into first? Or the clutch wasn't working. That's what it was. Right. Clutch wasn't working.
Yeah, the clutch went out, and then it just destroyed the clutch.
I don't know if this is going to go to Max, so tell me if it full-sized it.
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Dude, the crazy thing was, start that over again and watch the guy that's just spinning like a top all the way down up against the wall. He's like the last car in line on the top. Watch him. Here he comes, the black and blue white car. Dude, he's still spinning out there.
He's in the parking lot.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. So it started raining. And if you listen to the people in the crowd, they're like, why would you throw the green when it's raining, you idiot?
I'm assuming racing was called for the rest of the night after that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I looked in the background. Hold on. Let it roll. Look at the billboard in the background. Hold on. It'll zoom out. It's right at the left of the screen. It's white. Big wreck.
Big wreck.
Or bad wreck.
No, I think it says big.
Oh, it is. Big. I don't know if it's wreck, though. It's W-E-C-K.
We're going to just say it's big wreck.
Big wreck, dude. They got a
big wreck. Big junk. Big fucking junk.
The other one was on the restart in the Cars Pro late model race, and the guy missed a shift. The whole field stacked it
on the first lap, man. First lap.
There was a lot of talk on Twitter and Facebook this week about whether they should let those cars shift, like they should ban it.
What, are you going to start them in fourth?
Or you should not miss a shift.
I mean, how bad would those restarts be if they were starting in fourth? Could you imagine?
No, those are probably only a 3 or 4 speed. They're probably restarting in second.
Even then, you only got to bang one gear after that.
Yeah, well, they fucking suck at it. Get on the sim and practice some more shifting, bud.
Dude, I got a shifter here that's the most useless piece of material on my desk.
It's just there to hold your headphones.
Yeah. Well, shit, Phil. It's All-Star race week or race day.
I'm gonna go get my hair cut, come home, watch the end of this modified race, and get ready to sit down and see how this open race goes at 5:30.
Yeah, I'll be around. Gwen just got back from California, so we're gonna hang out with the wife today.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, pal. Well, Victor, do your thing and take us away, my friend.